hand this right over to you. Thank you. My name is Helen Armstrong. I'm from the Alaska area team. I want to thank those who have given me the opportunity and selected me to be the first of the AFS talks. It's a really great honor to be here. My AFS story began 61 years ago and is almost as old as the AFS Mission. It began with my uncle, Owen Jander, who was a conscientious objector to Germany, sent there by the Quakers in 1954. I really like this because the women are wearing dirndls and he's wearing his lederhosen, even though it's a little bit blurry. A year later, he was sent to Jordan to teach. In both places, he was experiencing post-World War II hatred of Americans. It was these experiences that convinced him that we will never achieve world peace until we share in each other's lives, learn each other's customs and traditions, and grow to understand one another. These ideas are shared by the AFS Mission. So in 1960, Uncle Owen decided that rather than send birthday or Christmas presents to each of his 10 nieces and nephews, he would do something really special, something that would be consistent with his belief in promoting world peace. What he started became known in our family as the Uncle Owen Plan. When each of us turned 10, we started saving our money, and Owen matched it up to $100. That was a lot of money in those days, but mind you, the first year I only saved $12.95. There were some rules. First, the money was to be spent only for living in a country where English is not the spoken language. We had to have this experience in high school or college because Uncle Owen believed that the younger one is to have the experience, the more receptive one would be to new ideas and new ways of seeing the world. We should live with a family and go to school in such a way that we would have meaningful contact with people. And there would be no more birthday or Christmas presents, but he was never very good at that anyway. The plan was simple, but the effects were profound. My older sister spent a year in Germany. My other sister lived in India. My younger cousin lived in France for a year and later became an AFS volunteer and host mother. When got my letter from Uncle Owen about becoming joining in the Uncle Owen Plan, he said to me I needed to find a program that would help me go live abroad. This was partly because my sister had been gone on an independent program, and there were some problems with that. In 8th grade, my best friend hosted an AFS student from Norway, and it was then that I knew I wanted to get involved in AFS. When I got to high school, I wanted to join that AFS club. I wanted to be an AFS student. Soon after that, we hosted Miling Lung from Malaysia, and the year after that, Leslie Omond from South Africa. Shortly after that, my best friend went to Belgium, and after that, I went to Finland. I continued to volunteer all throughout college and graduate school, and finally moved to Alaska in 1981 and have been involved in AFS ever since. I've had just about every single job you could imagine in AFS in all these years. But when my daughter turned 10, my husband and I decided that we wanted to continue the Uncle Owen Plan, and we wrote her a letter saying that we would match the money that she saved from one year to the next. And when Uncle Owen heard about this, he said he would match what she had saved, and we matched, because after all, AFS was a lot more expensive than I had gone 30-something years ago. So Anna went to Norway. That's not Anna, I skipped one, sorry. In those years, we hosted Katrine from Austria, as well as a number of other students. Then Anna went to Norway. This is a photo here of Anna and my daughter with Uncle Owen. And shortly after Anna went to Norway, Heidi went to Chile. sorry, it wasn't going quite right there. Anna, who didn't want to stay in Norway, wanted to come home as soon as she got there. She eventually married her boyfriend 10 years later and now lives in Norway and has lived there for 6 years. Some of us know that story. AFS even extended into my husband's family. His brother's family hosted a few times. This is Drew from India, who was recently hosted as a YES student, and both of his daughters went on AFS. Saving my money to go on AFS for almost 8 years gave me a great deal of satisfaction and made me focused on the idea of being an exchange student. This was something I had worked hard for, not something my parents paid for. And as we all know, living abroad is the greatest gift anyone could ever give you because it changes lives. That's a whole nother AFS talk, how it affected my life. Uncle Owen died this past January. When he died, I was hoping I wouldn't cry, but I posted on Facebook how he had changed my life, and through him, how I became involved in AFS. The number of people who wrote to me, both on Facebook and email, astonished me, thanking Uncle Owen for affecting their lives, even though they had never met him. Friends who had hosted, volunteered, or been AFS students. Through Uncle Owen's generous gift and idea, I became part of an AFS family, and for the past 45 years, I in turn have touched hundreds of students and families who have touched thousands of people. The list is incredibly long. The web is very extensive. We all have those lists, we all have those webs. All of you here, we are affecting people's lives. One person at a time, we are changing the world. All of us have these long lists, and the list is amazing. For me, it began with Uncle Owen, and I thank him with all my heart. We should all have an Uncle Owen in our lives, or we should be an Uncle Owen to others, helping people realize their dreams, opening them up to our global community, helping to change the world, touch lives, and create a more just and peaceful world, and fulfilling the AFS mission. Thank you.